Hello guys, my name is Amy and welcome to the highlights of my latest F1KL League race. This one was at Bahrain Short, so similar to the last race, but half the size. It cuts out sector 2. So we are doing 100% because obviously it's only like a minute a lap. So it's a lot more laps than we're used to. And it's 50% race, but I'm feeling confident about this one. Getting 11th in the last race. It's one of them I've never thought I'd be in a league race, and let alone finish one. So 11th, last race, coming into this one being pretty much the same track. I was hoping pretty much the same sort of thing. Just keep my head down, don't do anything stupid, don't battle anybody too much to the point of it becoming potentially terminal. It's one of them, if I finish last, I finish last, as long as I finish the race is all I'm bothered about. So we'll get into qualifying. Right, so we're into quali. Now it's a short quali because of how many people we've got in or not got in. If we run more than 16 people, we do full quali, but we haven't, so we're only doing a short quali. So it's what, 18 minutes, I think it is, 17-18 minutes. So we're a couple of minutes in. Obviously I've done my out lap. This is my first proper timed lap. Something's going off on the pit straight. I'm guessing someone's just pulled over to let someone through. It's one of them, I had minimal practice. I think I did about 15 minutes practice, literally like just before this. So yeah, obviously someone there letting me through, because obviously I'm on a timed lap. People are lovely in this league to let you through. They do go a bit arsey if you don't let them through, but never mind. But we go over the line and we go 7th. So 7th isn't too bad. It's one of them I thought I could do better. Coming up to the end of quali, so we now only got 2 minutes left. I did just do another timed lap, unfortunately wasn't good enough, so I stayed out, trying to get higher than 14th I am at the moment. Unfortunately, it's a terrible lap. It's one of them, I bail out. It's one of them, I don't feel like I can get much quicker. I know I've still got a minute and 50 left, but these tyres, they are softs. I have had them on a couple of laps now, so unfortunately I'm not going to get any better. Especially going wide like that, it's just not going to help. So yeah, I come in this lap P14. It's one of them, I'm not too disheartened. I mean a little bit, because obviously there's only 14 people in this race. But yeah, unfortunately didn't happen. So everyone goes over the line after the session's finished, and yeah, I am at the bottom, and unfortunately the only one that does a 60-second lap. Again, not too disheartened. I'm still new to this. It's one of them, as long as I finish the race, I didn't crash in qualifying, so that's always a bonus. But yeah, starting at the back, that went really well last race, because of all the chaos into turn 1. So we'll see if that tactic, it's not really a tactic, it's one of them, my time was purely the best I could possibly get, because of my skill level. So yeah, it's one of them, it might work out for the better. So confirmation, I am starting at the back. There is only 14 of us, so luckily I managed to just get on the screen. Yeah, 1.7 seconds off of the top, doesn't surprise me. But going into strategy, I was struggling which strategy to pick. It's one of them, do I go longer on the softs, or do I finish the race on mediums? But I do choose to go onto the hards. It's one of them with a bit of advice from Liam. I think it was a case of going onto them. But anyways, we go into the race. No formation lap. 5 lights are out. I don't get too bad of a start. I do lift off here a little bit, purely because damage is on full. So I don't want to lose my front wing. I do brake I say a little bit early. That was way early. And first corner, carnage as usual. Liam spins it. I do believe he gets a damaged front wing. He does get clipped by somebody, I believe. I cannot for the life of me remember. But yeah, it's one of them. I got through turn 1 okay. I do go a little wide into that one because I just didn't want to go into the back of Keelan. Not that it's Liam's best friend, it's just so that I can keep my car intact. But yeah, obviously, lap 1 shenanigans. People barging people out of the way. Dioptric lagging like absolutely nobody's business. It's one of them. Driving behind this Ferrari was okay, but knowing that there was an AlphaTauri in front, it's one of them. That Ferrari comes in, I believe that's the Ferrari that does hit Liam, so it's one of them. He comes in more than likely for a change of front wing because he's hit Liam. But as we come into lap 2, same place as last time. There's carnage in lap 2, so safety car comes out. So I believe that is Highbury that went into the wall. So unfortunately, according to that timing sheet, he has DNF'd, and the guy goes into the pits. The Red Bull goes into the pits. Guessing them two just came together. Bit unfortunate lap 2. So a couple of laps on, and Liam crashes into the back of me. Just as the safety car is about to finish, apparently that was a severe collision and I got a 5-second. He also got a penalty as well. But yeah, it's one of them. It's a bit unfortunate. Because I'm such a cautious driver, I kept back, and Liam behind me didn't know what I was going to do. He took full responsibility. It's one of them. Nothing came to it. Because of how the game works, he gets a penalty as well as me, even though it was just him that went into the back of me. But yeah, it's just purely unfortunate I got the 5-second, which I do serve in my next pit stop, but that is not for a couple of laps yet. So at the end of lap 6 going on to lap 7, I'm currently in 9th, and Liam comes into the pit. So Liam did get a little bit of damage obviously when he went into the back of me, so he's had to have a change of wing. He's also gone onto the hard tyre, so it's a tactic from Liam, thinking to go longer on that. Unfortunately, with the concentration of this battle in front, I completely forget I have a Ferrari next to me. Now unfortunately, nobody has DRS because DRS has not been enabled since the end of the safety car, so that was purely just slipstream. But it's one of them. I don't fight him off. It's a case of he's been in league races a lot longer than me, even though he locks up, but he's clearly not got ABS on. I have. But yeah, it's one of them. I don't try and battle people. I'll keep them behind as long as I can, as he locks up again. Doesn't really help me much. It's one of them. He just carries on going. He just gets away from me. But yeah, end of lap 7 on to lap 8, and I'm 10th. So we're just coming up to finish a lap 11, going on to lap 12, and basically the other side, the two in front, you've got Dioptric, so you've got an AlphaTauri, you've got a Ferrari, and you've got a Williams, basically all battling it out for 7th, 8th and 9th. During this little battle, one of them loses out. Dioptric ends up in the middle of the track, ghosted, thank God, because it literally scares the crap out of me. It would have been terminal, because I would have just gone ploughed straight into the back of him. But yes, I have made a place up purely because that guy ended up losing out. So he's now behind me, not very close, but close enough to be within DRS range, so hopefully we can get out of that. But yeah, finishing lap 12, and we're in P9. So we're on to the end of lap 15. I still have Dioptric behind me, still in DRS range. So unfortunately he does get horrendous speed into turn 1. Unfortunately too much speed. He outbrakes himself. I stick on the racing line and I effectively switch back. It's one of them, I've never done a move like it. And I made it stick. He's still behind me. And I'm into P7. So we're now coming up to the end of lap 22. We are 6th. It's one of them, a lot of people have pitted, but now my time has come to pit. Unfortunately, I do have to serve my 5 seconds from when Liam hit me. It's one of them, things happen. It's one of them, nothing comes of it. You know, it's a case of, you know, a penalty is a penalty. Whatever happens, happens. So as we come out of the pits, we are racing to the first corner with Dioptric again. So it's a case of our arch nemesis is in front with the brother behind. Now he's obviously already pitted. He's already been on his hard tyres for about 15 to 18 laps, I think, at this point. But it's one of them. He knows my driving style. It's one of them. He tries and keeps out of the way. I'm more than likely going to make a mistake, is basically what he's planning. It's more a case of just try and keep it on the track, and try not to hit anybody. So a couple of laps down the line, just started lap 26. Liam has got past me. It's one of them. He got past me on the pit straight about a lap or 2 ago. DRS, no problem. But now he has a lovely little battle with my arch nemesis, Dioptric. So my brother is on wheel. I don't know whether Dioptric is or not. I know he's laggy as hell most of this race. But unfortunately, that corner, Liam can't quite get him. It's one of them, all down this straight, trying to use slipstream. Liam sticks behind so he can effectively get DRS activation. For some reason, Dioptric goes horrendously to the right hand side. So Liam follows, they go back onto the racing line, go into the braking zone. Liam sort of gets ahead, then gets pushed a little bit, so he ends up behind, going round into the effectively cut off. I'm that concentrated in the battle in front, I completely missed my braking zone. And then into the DRS zone again. Them two have just gone for some reason. It's one of them, even though they are battling, I am still dropping back. But obviously Liam again uses DRS, gets past him, no problem. So finishing lap 29 onto lap 30, so just over halfway, and Liam's still battling with Dioptric. Dioptric goes horrendously wide. Liam does slide a little bit, but gives him plenty of room on the inside, and then something happens there. It's one of them, I think Dioptric thought that Liam pushed him off, hence why he temporarily goes into AI mode. He clips it for steward purposes. Nothing comes of it. But he outbrakes himself again. I stick to the racing line, and it's a case of I just go on the inside. He ends up behind. We're at the back of the pack, so yeah, fast cars are approaching. It's one of them with ghosted, so they go through us anyway, it doesn't really matter. But yeah, after all the little tussles between Dioptric and Liam, he's now behind me. It's one of them, I'd rather he stay behind because of how much he lags. But it's one of them, I like a challenge, but I don't want to DNF the car. It's one of them, he does have DRS, I keep my cool, I always understeer in that corner, so that's nothing new to me. As the leader does go through me, weird feeling that, really. But yeah, as we go into lap 31, we're into 11th, so only one place off a point. But Dioptric is still behind. It's one of them, I try and keep him behind as much as possible. He goes horrendously wide and then spins himself out. Hence the yellow flags. It's one of them, he loses it on the corner I absolutely hate. But yeah, turn 12, 13 before the straight, he spins himself out, and that's the end of him. On to lap 39, and yellow flags at the last corner. Hugo has retired. He's basically lost it at the last corner and spun it into a wall, as we're about to see. He's sideways, hence the virtual safety car. So Liam takes full advantage. He goes in, he's obviously on hards, but then goes on to the softs in a basically a bid to go out Badside Bob the last sort of 20-ish laps. So not a bad strategy. Had to go pretty much like dead still, because of the delta, because how virtual safety cars work, you have to stick to a particular time. If you end up in a red at the end of the safety car period, the virtual safety car period, you have to basically get a penalty. You are deemed too fast. But I time it really well, to the point it's for them coming out of the corner, I can just put my foot down. I've obviously got fast people behind me, again that doesn't bother me, which is this Ferrari. So it's one of them, lap 40, so only 50 or 60 laps to go. But we are in P9. Unfortunately, Liam is now on the softs and only 11 seconds behind me. So yeah, it's one of them. We can get a point. I can't see why not. So, like I predicted, Liam has managed to catch up by lap 44. Easy within DRS range. So he basically DRS. I'm on the hard. He's on the soft. And I basically overcook it. He gives me room. It's not a problem, but it's one of them, he puts up a nice little fight. I don't try and put him off. I don't try and defend horrendously. Unfortunately, I don't get DRS back on him because he was behind, on the DRS zone. So it's a case of he still got DRS, even though he overtook me before the DRS zone. But it's one of them. I knew it was going to happen. He's on the extremely softer tyres. Me being on the hards, they're quite old hards. So I've lost about a third of my grip. And he's still on pretty new-ish tyres. But yeah, it's one of them. The end of that lap, I am P10. So it's a case of just getting to the end of the race now. So quite a few laps on, we're on to lap 53 now, and unfortunately, karma is a bitch. I spin out. That corner, I hate it. It's one of them, the turning circle on this car is atrocious, so I do lose sort of the left hand side end plate of my front wing. It doesn't cause too many problems. Luckily, Lucas is a whole lap behind me still, so he's not unlapped himself. So I'm still a lap in front of him. So yeah, just getting to the end of this race, it turned out to be a little trickier. Now I have less downforce, but hey, it's one of them. P10 still, yes, I've got a 3-second penalty. I did cut a corner. It's one of them though, with the amount of time I have in front of Lucas, you know, when a whole lap is like a minute, 3 seconds isn't anything, unless I do anything horrendously stupid, like terminal damage. So we go on to what will be our last lap. I know it says 56 out of 57, but we have been lapped. So it's a case of we do one less lap than the leaders. So it's a case of P10. As the Ferrari goes over the finish line. So it's nice to see someone that is not a Mercedes. But yeah, I at this point, I say I have made it. It's one of them. This corner here, I hate it. I try and keep off it. I make sure I don't spin. I'm still a lap ahead, so if I did spin, it wouldn't have been an horrendous problem. But yeah, no terminal damage. I did not combo myself twice. So yeah, as we come up to the end of the race, we made it. There you have it. We got P10. I got a point in my second ever league race. I know there was only 14 people that started, and I know 3 of them ended up DNFing. I could have easily have been that one person that did not get a point. Unlucky, Lucas. Unlucky. But yeah, it's one of them. Even with a spin, with a few issues, I managed to bring it home. Not quite in one piece, but I got a point. Ferrari, top step of the podium. It's been a while since we've seen that. So there you have it. Me and Liam, 9 and 10th. It's one of them. An interesting race. A few crashes, so a few DNFs. But I managed to get a point, and I'm horrendously happy with that point. So there we go, guys. The second league race, and I got a point. Horrendously shocked, not gonna lie. I genuinely, my heart sank when I spun. I genuinely thought I wasn't gonna finish. But turns out I just get a bit of a damaged front wing. So nothing terminal, only a few laps towards the end as well. So it weren't like I needed to come in and get that changed. Quite a few nice little battles going on, either between me or Liam had his own little battles as well. Some of them between the both of us. But yeah, it's one of them. Bahrain, I think, has become my favourite track within F1. So starting off with these 2 tracks, I don't think I could have asked for a better start to a season, especially seeing as it is my first ever season. So next week is China. Feel free to follow me on Twitch. That'll show you when I go live, when I start that race up. It'll be about 8:10 on Friday. So feel free to join me live for the next race. Link in the description for my Twitch channel. If you don't get a chance to see that live, don't worry, the highlight video will be up on Monday as per usual. But anyway, guys, if you like this video, please leave a like rating. If you're new around here, if you could subscribe as well, that'd be even better. Next to the subscribe button is a little bell. That's for notifications. That'll let you know when I upload. So I'll see you then, guys. Bye.